I would submit that safe is the new risky. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, you know, I grew up in a place called Madison, Wisconsin. And when I grew up, my mother told me, Randy, what you need to do is go to school, get an education, and get a job for a big company. Because if you do that, you will be set for life. And that's what my mother really believed, and I think mothers all over the Midwest believe that. And I believe mothers all over that nation and all over many, many nations believe that, because that really was the prevalent wisdom of that time. Go to school, get an education, get a job for GM or IBM or some big multinational corporation. You were set for life. You were going to work for them for the next 30, 40 years. You were going to retire. They're going to give you a gold watch and a retirement plan, and you were, you know, living wonderful. What do we see today? The average person works, what, 20, 30 jobs by the time they retire? People have worked for some of those big, big companies that they thought they were set up for life, and some of those companies have laid off tens of thousands of people. A few of them have laid off hundreds of thousands of people. And what you see going on in the world today, if you look at the economic situation we're in, with all of these billions of dollars and euros and pounds of government bailouts done, you know, in all of these nations all over the world, there's a big, big problem with them. This is what I call printing press money, because there's no real value to the currency. Like if I take back, you know, go to the United States, our currency used to be based on what we call the gold standard, right? We had a place called Fort Knox with all these bars of gold in there, and you had to have gold to correspond with every dollar that the U.S. Treasury printed had to have an equal amount of gold in the Treasury. Well, in 1972, President Richard Nixon was running for re-election. The inflation was bad. He wanted to win the election, and so he said, you know what we're going to do? We're going to take the U.S. dollar off the gold standard, because that's old-fashioned. We don't need it anymore. When we need more money, we'll just print it. And that's been the U.S. economic policy ever since. When you need more money for the budget, schedule the printing guys to work a little overtime this week. Unfortunately, this is not just a United States phenomenon, but it's a phenomenon that you see in many, many, in fact, most countries around the world. Now, what's the problem with printing press money is when you print money with no real value, because gold, precious metal, is the only real payment in the world. Everything else is just a promise to pay. A US dollar is just a promise to pay, right? I could take this, you know, 50 euro note, right? This is a promise to pay. And now here's the problem with printing press money. So the government today says, like the EU says, okay, this is worth 50 euros. So this should buy 50 euros worth of material. You know, you in exchange this for goods valued at 50 euro. But when you have printing press money, two things happen. Inflation starts to go up, and currency gets devalued. So a couple of weeks ago, this might have been worth 50 euros, but today it might only be worth 40 euros. And we could come back 2 months later, and it would be worth 26 euros, and 19 euros, and 10 euros. And you say, how can that happen? Well, if you don't believe me, you go down to Latin America, where you go out to lunch and you take a 50,000 peso bill to buy a sandwich. You take a 100,000 denomination note to get lunch. There's a place in Africa right now that has a 1 billion denomination note. 1 billion. So anybody here want to be a billionaire? You just moved to Africa. Okay, sell 1 cup of coffee. You're a billionaire, okay? You know, call all your friends. So the truth is, this is really a problem. So when you see all of these governments bailing out all of these companies, like all of these automakers and all of these airlines and all of these brokerage houses and all of these investment companies and all these insurance companies and all of these banks that the governments are buying up, this is all printing press money. There's no real value for exchange. It's in contrast with the principles of prosperity, how actual prosperity is created, and it is a debt that your children and your grandchildren will have to pay at some point. Because remember, the number one law of all prosperity, the only free cheese is in the mousetrap. The only free cheese is in the mousetrap. And right now, we got a lot of governments out there promising free cheese to everybody. We're going to pay your mortgage payment. We're going to bail out the banks. We're going to bail out the automakers. We're going to bail out this. We're going to bail out that. We're printing the money, printing the money. We got lots of new money coming in wheelbarrows to rescue the economy. So meanwhile, what's going on? Inflation is going up. Buying power is going down. And people are scared. People are watching the news. People are reading the newspaper and saying, wow, I don't think I'll buy a car. I don't think I'll buy a house. I don't think I'll buy anything. I don't know. I think I'm running scared. I'm hearing all this gloom and doom on the news reports, and I think I better hunker down. So what are they doing? They're taking their last few hundred euros or pounds or dollars. They're putting them in a sock. They're putting it under their mattress, or they're going to the backyard and they're digging a hole and they're burying it in the backyard. And then they're going into their bedroom. They're getting on their Chewbacca pajamas. They're crawling into bed. They're pulling the covers over their head, and they're saying, I'm just going to wait until this goes away. I'm going to wait for the government to rescue me. I'm going to wait for my boss to rescue me. I'm going to wait for the stock market to go up, or I'm going to wait for the economy to bounce back. But here's the thing you got to understand. That's the riskiest thing for someone to do right now. The people doing that are going to get creamed. Absolutely creamed. They're going to be the roadkill, because safe is the new risky. Because to do nothing right now is the riskiest thing in the world. What we've got to do as marketers, as leaders in this room, what we've got to do with Agile is we've got to get out there with this message that safe is the new risky. We've got to make sure our candidates understand that hunkering down under the covers is the riskiest thing they could do right now. And that the safe thing to do, the prudent thing to do, the savvy, the smart, the intelligent thing to do right now is to take control of their financial freedom, to take control of their destiny, to open up a business, to be bold, to be proactive. Because this is not about a real estate bubble. This is not about a stock market crash. It's not about a financial recession or even depression. What it really is about is a new economy. The rules have changed, and all of the old rules don't work anymore. And all of these government bailouts, the fact that they're not taken into account is that this isn't just a downturn, it's a new economy. If you take flying over here, I have a travel agent. I've had the same travel agent for 20 years, the lady who bought my ticket to come over here. Now, she used to have an office in Miami Beach with 12 travel agents all working for her. And you'd go in and the phones would be buzzing and people would be sitting at the desks of all the agents and they'd be just booking tickets, hotels, cruise tours all day long. Now, none of those people work for her. She works for herself. And she has a guy who helps her sometimes answering the phone. You see, because people don't use travel agents anymore. Technology has made them almost obsolete. They go on the internet. They go to hotels.com or orbitz.com or these discount websites. They book direct on the airline sites. They book direct on the hotel sites. Technology has changed all the rules. Video stores, right? I hadn't been in the video store for almost 2 years because I'm not a TV video kind of guy, right? I watch them on a plane now and then. That's about it. But I wanted to see this one particular movie, so I go into my neighborhood video store. We have this incredible video store in South Beach. It's one of those, it's not a chain, it was a local one. They have all the art house movies and all the imports and, the really cool movies. A huge mega store. They carried over 100,000 titles of videos in this store. So I go in, I haven't been there for a year and a half or 2 years or something. I go in there, and more than half of the store is empty. Even the shelves are gone. You could see the rows on the floor where the shelves used to be. So there's one guy behind the counter. I say, dude, what happened? Did someone drop a bomb here? He says, dude, don't you know people don't go to the video store anymore? They rent them online, they watch them online, they download them from the cable company, or they download them on high-speed DSL or whatever. They don't go to the video, or they use Netflix, and they mail them. It changed. There used to be 4 or 5 people working in that store at night. Now there was just him. Those other 4 jobs, they're not coming back. There's no government bailout for that. President Obama could have sent them a check to bail out the video store, but they're not going to hire those 4 people back because there's no need for those 4 people. There'd be nothing for them to do. You have to ask the question, when the car was invented, did we give bailouts to horses? No, the economy changed. We said, okay, we're not going to use horses for the main mode of transportation anymore. This car invention is pretty cool. We could use that. It's a new economy. The rules have changed. Nowhere was this more apparent than I went to Thailand a couple of months ago. Agile did the leadership retreat for the Diamonds, flew us all to Phuket, Thailand, this beautiful tropical island in Thailand, right? And one of the days, they just did it amazing. They had all these tours and went to James Bond Island in private speedboats and sat by the pool and drank out of coconuts and massages and shopping and everything. But one day, they took us to an eco-preserve so we could ride an elephant through the rainforest. And that was so cool, because that was one of the things on my bucket list. The list, they call it bucket list of the things you want to do before you die. One of the things on my bucket list was, I want to go to some cool place and ride an elephant. Now, I'm not a camper, right? I don't want to be camping at night. I want to be back in the Ritz-Carlton with room service at night. I want to ride the elephant in the daytime, get the room service at night, because I'm a Devo, okay? So, but one of my things is I want to ride the elephant. So while we're waiting to ride the elephant, because we had so many diamonds there, they didn't have enough elephants, so they had some of them riding the elephants, and the rest of us, they said, we're going to give you the demonstration of how we train monkeys. So we go to the monkey training, and they train monkeys. So if you have a monkey, you send it to monkey school. Costs about $100 US a month. Takes about 3 months to train your monkey. They train your monkey how to harvest coconuts. And then you can hire out your monkey to harvest coconuts. So they have all the coconut trees. They have a big cable that runs to the top of the tree. So they teach the monkey, climb up the rope, get there. They hang on to the cable with one hand and one foot. They take the other hand and the other foot, and they spin the coconut, keep spinning it really fast till it drops to the ground. Do you know when the monkey's trained, he can harvest 1,000 coconuts a day. So think about what I said earlier. We were talking about how if you work in a corporation right now, you got a target on your back. And the older you are, they say, hey, can we lay him or her off? And they've got all this vacation pay and sick pay and benefits. And couldn't we replace them with someone younger? Or can't we consolidate? And can't we do with less employees? And so you have all these, we're losing a couple million jobs a month right now around the world in this economic time. So, you're worried about, am I going to get laid off? Am I going to be replaced with a younger person? Now you got to worry, am I going to be replaced by a monkey? Right? Where are we going with this? I don't know. All I know is this. The rules have changed. This is a new economy, and safe is the new risky. This is not the time to sit around doing nothing. This is the time to be active. And this is the message we need to get out there with as leaders, to show people what you need to do right now is to get in network marketing. Because network marketing is based on the true principles of prosperity, and network marketing is the perfect business for difficult economic times as these. Because if you look at the layoffs and you look at where everything is going, you've probably heard Eric Worre talk about this a lot. He's mentioned many times now about results-based compensation. That the world will be forced to go to results-based compensation, where you only get paid for what you really produce. And I think you're going to see that everywhere in all the aspects of business because, as I say, I live in Miami now. We had Eastern Airlines there. Eastern Airlines was the biggest airline in the world. This is back in the day when I first moved to Miami. This is like 25 years ago. I remember Frank Borman, the astronaut, he was actually the president of Eastern Airlines. And every couple of years, they would have labor issues, and they'd have a contract issue, and the union would say, you got to give us more money or we're going to go on strike. And the company would say, no, we're not going to give you more money. Then the union would go on strike. And Eastern would be losing millions and millions of dollars, and finally they'd say, okay, we're going to give you the money, come back to work. And they'd come back to work. And then 2 years later, the flight attendant would have the union would have the strike. And then the baggage handler would have the strike. And then a couple years later, the pilot thing was. So every year or two, there was another labor thing, another strike. So it got to the point, this is way, way back now, way back in the day, the guys who were loading the luggage on the plane were making $35,000 a year. And Frank Borman, I remember all the interviews on the TV and the paper, he'd say, guys, at that point, way, way, way back then, Eastern Airlines was losing $2 million a day. And he said, guys, we can't afford to pay a luggage guy $35,000 to put the suitcases in the cargo things. We're losing $2 million a day. If we don't stop losing $2 million a day, we're going to go out of business, and all you tens of thousands of people who all work for Eastern Airlines, you're all going to be out of work. And all the shareholders are going to lose all their investment, and all the corporate people are going to lose their jobs. And everybody's going to lose. And the union said, no, we want a raise. We're working hard. It's hot in Miami. We need this money. So what happened? One day, poof, there was no more Eastern Airlines. The biggest airline in the world disappeared. Pan Am Airlines, the biggest, just disappeared. So what's happening since then? United Airlines has been bankrupt. Northwest has been bankrupt. Delta has been bankrupt. U.S. Airways are bankrupt. Now it's like Northwest and Delta merged. What's that? It's like two drunks trying to prop each other up. What's up with that? So you look at what's going on and you say, wow. So the days when you could be in a union and just hide out and say, oh no, you can't fire me because I'm in the union, those are changing because they have to change. The economy is forcing that to change. And then you have the same thing. If you look at Wall Street and all the greed of those executives with their multi-million-dollar buyout parachute deals, and they were taking all of these bonuses and stock options when they were losing money for their shareholders, and they were scooping all this money out for themselves. They had the same kind of abuse in the executive end, right? And then what happened? You had Lehman Brothers and those banks just, selling for 20 cents on the dollar by the government in the middle of the night on weekends. They have to, to auction them off to someone who will take over their debts, or the entire banking system would have collapsed. Why? Because the results weren't, the compensation wasn't based on results. It was based on fantasy island nonsense. So the days of the executives being able to do that, those are over. The days when you could be in the corporation and just kind of hide out, say, well, if I just stay in my cubicle and I don't raise my head above the divider and I just mind my own business, I'll be safe. And I can just coast for another 11 years, 3 months, 12 days, and 14 hours, and I'll get my retirement. No more, guys. It's got to go to results-based compensation. And that's what we do in network marketing and have done for decades. Because network marketing is the only business I know where you really get paid exactly what you're really worth. Now, I'm really proud of that, but you know what I'm really proud about that? Is because what makes me the top income earner in the world is because I have helped the most people reach success with Agile. Because our compensation plan is quite different than many companies in the network marketing business. And that's kind of where I want to go next. I mean, we got safe is the new risky. This is the time to be bold. This is the time to open up a business. I believe network marketing is the best vehicle of business to be in right now for all the reasons we normally talk about, and we still need to talk about. You know, choose the people you work with, flexible hours, great tax benefits of a home-based business, travel opportunities, unlimited income potential, become successful by helping other people reach success. We've got to keep talking about all those things. But then, of course, where we go next is why Agile is the preeminent company in the network marketing business. And if I look at the compensation plan, our Quadra plan, that's the perfect example. Because I've been the top income earner around the world because I've helped more people become senior directors and corporate directors and diamond directors and double diamond directors than anybody else in the world. And so that compensation plan rewards me for doing that. That's a qualitative difference than many companies in our business. And we need to talk about this from the marketing context. Because what do we say in network marketing? I mean, how many times have you been to one of the meetings in our business, right? And they say, here's you. And you get 5 serious people and show them, and they duplicate the thing, and then they each get 5 is 25, and then 125, and 625, and 3,125. And you know how this goes. You do this, and pretty soon you have 8,227,014 people, right? Now, we know, of course, it doesn't work exactly this way. Some do more, some do less. But the reality is, we do have leverage going on in network marketing. That's the beauty of our business. That's why it's a prosperity-based business, because we're employing the concept of leverage. And so we get paid on the results produced in a big, growing, exponential body of work, right? But the thing we've always said in network marketing for years is you get paid on the efforts of many people. And that's been true. We've said that for decades in network marketing. You get paid on the efforts of many people. Well, here's the qualitative difference with Agile is you don't get paid on the efforts of many people. You get paid on the success of many people. Because that's the nature of the Quadra plan. And that's something, as marketers, we need to be talking about out there in the marketplace. The other thing, of course, we talked in the previous session, the right now nature of our products. Products like Flex, like Heart, like Fit, like Ohm, Ageless. These are the kind of products that people buy even in difficult economic times. So while many companies in our business are actually going down in sales and laying off hundreds of people and slashing their compensation plan, we've been enjoying some of the best months ever during the last 6 months. Why? I think a big reason is the right now nature of our products. And as marketers, it's important that we stress that when we're talking to people about the business. Because the fact is, when the economy gets tight and people are worried about their car payment and worried about their rent or their mortgage, they're going to look at products as, okay, is this disposable income? Is this extra, spur-of-the-moment expenditure? And the nature of many companies in our business is, and this is what when we talked about the juice companies, those are kind of preventative products. And they're good products, and I think they could be very proud of those products. But one of the reasons they're having downturns in their sales right now is because in difficult economic times, people cut back on preventative products. And the fact that we have right now, see, if you've got rheumatoid arthritis and you've been in pain for 20 years and you use a product like Flex and you get pain relief, you're going to buy that product every month. That's not disposable income, that's necessary income. And these products, the right now nature of their products, are one of the reasons we're doing so well in the market. And then, of course, the right now nature of the compensation plan. The fact that we have the right now money with the first order bonuses. That's really important right now. We know that for people to start businesses is scary right now. To spend $1,000 to get started. We know that people, some of them are going to have to do an Easter egg hunt to find $1,000 right now, right? They're going to be putting it on a credit card or borrowing it from family or something. The fact that they can go out and earn $1,200, $1,400, $1,600, $1,800 their first month, if they get serious and bring in some people with the first order bonuses, that's really relevant right now. The transitional nature of the executive bonus pool, the executive rank qualification bonus, that's important now. That's really relevant. That is, that's a couple $1,000s, that transitional money that people be earning as they're working their way through the compensation plan. And then, of course, and we mentioned this in the other segment, the fact that, look at the car industry, all these bankrupt automakers right now. Nobody's buying cars right now. We can show people they can make from $500 to $3,000 US a month just to buy a car. That's relevant right now. You look at the travel and tourism decline and how they're cratering in that industry. The fact that we have these free cruises and trips to Cancun and the leadership retreats to Hawaii and Phuket and Australia and all these amazing places that we go, that they can get those trips paid for with our travel fund, that's relevant right now. And then, of course, we can never talk enough, I think, about the team volume commission and the leverage matching bonus. You look at that team volume commission, you max out one income center, you get 25,000 US dollars residual income, month after month after month. Wow. Now think about that versus, the other session when I was talking about my friend who owns the 3 Burger King. What's his residual income? 0. He never knows what's going to happen day to day. Someone is in real estate, right? If you're a real estate agent, every day you wake up, you're unemployed until you make your next sale. If you're on commission, like that other thing you were telling me about earlier, you're unemployed until you make your first sale. There's no residual with a lot of that stuff. The fact you can go out and build your first income center with Agile, like I did already, right? I have $25,000 a month in residual just there at the start of the month. If I decide, okay, today is November 1st. I don't want to get out of bed today. In fact, I don't want to get out of bed till December 1st. I'm just going to sleep for 30 days. I can do that because I know I've got $25,000 residual income from the team volume commission if I don't get out of bed. If I just go to Hawaii and I'm sitting in a beach chair with the waves lapping around my ankles, drinking out of a coconut, I know on the 15th of the month, boom, there's 25,000 US dollars direct deposited for team volume commission. Now, of course, I didn't stop at the first income center. I went out and I built the second income center. So, of course, I maxed out the second income center. So I don't get $25,000 a month in residual. I actually get $50,000 a month in residual with that team volume commission. Sitting there in Maui, waves lapping around my thing, drinking out of the coconut, boom, 50 grand hot, nasty bucks in my account on the 15th of the month. And of course, we don't stop at 2 income centers. We can do it 3 times in the Agile compensation plan. So we're talking about $75,000 in ongoing residual income that somebody can build, a cash flow machine. And if you look, why does David Bach and Robert Kiyosaki and all of these financial experts and planners, why do they always talk about network marketing? What do they tell you? Get in the business, great tax benefits, and you create a cash flow machine. And I think if you look at the network marketing business, our Agile team volume commission is the perfect demonstration of that cash flow machine. So again, I go back to my buddy with the 3 Burger Kings, you know, with all those hundreds of employees, millions of dollars invested, hundreds of thousands of dollars in personal guarantees. I have my little business that I run out of my home with no employees, no overhead, no personal guarantees. I invested $1,000 US to start, and I got that ongoing passive income every month. Who's got a better business, me or him? If you're a corporate executive, who's got a better business, them or me? If you're in the airline business, if you're in the travel business, if you're in the banking industry, if you're in the insurance business, if you're in, I mean, we could just name real estate, construction. We could name 50 or 60 different professions and occupations and businesses and realize, wow, if you could be in that, or you could be in agile enterprises and network marketing, agile is the choice. And that's what we've got to get out. That's the marketing message we've got to get out there with. Then, of course, you know, leverage matching bonus. Guys, this is the biggest innovation in network marketing compensation that's ever been done. So when you join Agile, you instantly, the day you join, you have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people above you that have a vested interest in your success. They have a reason to help you be successful. And then if you look at what we do with A-Team, you know, we've done such an extraordinary job with A-Team of creating the infrastructure, the step-by-step system, the marketing materials to use at every stage of that system, training events like this and Mastermind and the other things we do to help people learn the system and apply the system. So you look at that and say, with all of this infrastructure we've created, what someone can do with this leverage matching bonus, this is just ridiculous. That's why I say, this one element of the Agile compensation plan, it's the biggest innovation in network marketing compensation that's ever been done by any company at any time. This is the single biggest innovation ever done in the way we get compensated in the network marketing profession. So then you add in the team, the field leaders we have. You look at the leaders we have here in the Netherlands, the leaders in other parts of Europe, the diamonds we have at Agile. You look at all of the people we've attracted. I mean, some real rock stars from other companies who have found their way to Agile and said, wow, this company is different. This company is special. So you look at that field leadership we have. You look at the corporate support we have. All those amazing people in Utah and now all around the world, and the new people we've brought in over the last 6 months who have just energized the company and brought such vitality and taken the original vision of Glenn and Craig, and now you bring in Scott and Micah and all these people to work with Jeff and Sam and Jeremiah and Zach and all those other amazing people we have. So you look at the right now nature of the product line, the right now nature of the compensation plan, the support, the infrastructure, the training, the field leadership, the corporate leadership. You see why we've got to get out there with this message. Safe is the new risky. Now is the time to be bold. Now is the time to take action. And what other business? You look at, you know, if you guys don't know my story, I was a minimum wage dishwasher. I was thrown out of high school. Okay, I had problems with the law. I was a teenage alcoholic. I was a teenage drug addict. I had a lot of problems. They threw me out of school. So I don't have a college education. My mother was a single mother who raised 3 kids by herself. I didn't have money. I didn't have connections. I didn't have education. What I had was a dream. I had a dream that I didn't want to be poor any longer. I had a dream that I wanted to control my own destiny. That I wanted to wake up every day when I finished sleeping. That I'd be able to have a business. I could just travel the world and work from a palm tree anywhere and have friends all over the world. I have all of those things with Agile. I live in my dream homes. I drive my dream cars. I have my dream lifestyle. So here I am, the guy who was a minimum wage dishwasher. And now, by the way, What's the date today is what?
13.
Okay, yesterday was my 4-year anniversary with Agile Enterprises. So yesterday was 4 years with Agile, starting from scratch, building this by the building blocks from the ground up. In 4 years, I have earned more than $5 million US. What other business, what other company could I do that with? I don't know any. So all I can tell you is safe is the new risky. Now is the time to be bold. Now is the time to open a business. Network marketing is the business to be in because it's based on results. It's based on the principles of prosperity. And Agile Enterprises is the preeminent business in the network marketing profession. Thanks for being here.